All right, everybody, welcome back to the Titans table for two in the two-tone blue. That's Andrew,
That's Mike.
That's Christian.
and we're coming at you with the latest Titans news this week. Here in just a minute, coming up next. All right, everybody, like, share, subscribe. Check out the CPN, Curtis Podcast Network, for any of your favorite teams around the league, any sport, any team. We're trying to come at you every Friday with the Titans' latest news until the season starts, and we're going to get into some more free agency and draft news. A little bit slower week this week than it was last week. But before we do that, Andrew, you got a little bit of league news in general you want to start us off with?
Yeah, I think a really cool one was Jameis Winston going to the Giants. I think we were all wondering where Jameis was going to go. Man,
Yeah, saw that right before we got
I
on.
think
Yeah.
in America, one thing we can agree on is that we all love Jameis Winston. So, Jameis Winston, with Brandon Cooks went back to the States.
Yeah.
He's a funny dude, man.
I've grown to like him more. I didn't used to be a
Yeah,
fan,
yeah,
man. I was really happy when we took Mariota that year, honestly.
Yeah.
And that worked out how it did for both of those teams. But yeah, Jameis, funny guy, man.
Hilarious. And then Brandon Cooks going back to New Orleans where it all started, man.
Yep.
Been on just about every team in the league, and now he's back.
Pretty much,
New
yeah.
Orleans.
Except the Titans.
What else happened out there, Mike? Jerome Baker went to the Browns.
Yeah.
Tyler Conklin went to the Chargers. Cam Robinson went to the Texans, which, according to Jack's fans, he's horrible. So I'm all for that. So y'all keep trading around crappy players. We'll be happy about it.
Sure.
So, but yeah, all over the place for sure. Nothing. I mean, still waiting on Rodgers. I think he visited the Steelers today. So,
yeah. Still waiting on Rodgers.
That's still the big domino to fall, I think.
Yeah, I was expecting, maybe Pittsburgh to be the landing spot, but more and more I'm seeing people talk about the Vikings, man.
And the options are getting limited for him. He's going to have to make a decision on retirement, or it's pointing towards the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then a couple things maybe regarding the Titans. Chidobe Awuzie, obviously last week as soon as we got done dropping our video the next day, we heard that news. Saved the Titans a little bit of money. Not as much this year, more next year.
As we said in the video last week, the cornerback's not a position of need, which I don't necessarily think it's a position of need still. But
that's the worst part about this time of year recording is it's going to make you look stupid a few times. And I don't feel bad about that. It happens to the best of us this time of year. So, I mean, nobody in their right mind would have thought that cornerback was a topic of discussion before.
When you look at, you called the Harold Landry thing and then this. So it's like, hey, if you're batting 50% in this business, I think you're doing all right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so
I think it's good timing also. I mean, we know we're in a rebuild stage as much as we don't want to admit it. But we've got a little bit of extra salary cap. We can take that hit right now. It obviously didn't work out with the 1 year and the injuries relating to that as well. We do have a little bit of depth. So get those younger guys more reps.
If anything makes sense for all their signings that come together, it's durability. Like these guys have played a lot of football. They don't get injured. And that's just one thing Chidobe Awuzie has been his whole career is injured.
A lot of short-term deals and a lot of durable guys that play a lot of games.
So there's definitely a method to what they're doing. For sure. So yeah, Chidobe. And then I think another they re-signed Julius Chestnut, which I mean I think anytime you have an undrafted guy that sticks around this long, it becomes like a semi-fan favorite. For sure.
Yeah, and just to touch on what you said there a minute ago, that's kind of nice and refreshing as a Titans fan. I feel like we touched on this. I may sound like a broken record. Just to kind of understand sort of what's going on and not kind of constantly have the mirrors and smoke in front of you. As much as we love Vrabel, and I don't mean to keep going back to that. It's just people don't need to understand how nice it is, I guess, as a Titans fan to kind of have a clear message and a clear idea of where everything's are going. And yeah, Julius Chestnut re-signed. I don't have the numbers on that, but
I'm sure probably a league minimum.
yeah, probably something like that. And then the other one we signed was a Lorenzo Carter, another one I can't find the numbers on necessarily. We looked another short deal though, I think.
But yeah, that's just really a depth piece. Probably get a little special teams action out of him too. Nothing that really strikes fear into offense.
He did come from Georgia, but like you said, he's going to be that depth piece. Another special teamers. Chestnut's a great special teams player as well.
Hey, Jonathan Kelly in the chat. What's up,
JP?
What up, man?
Yeah, depth piece.
Tell big brother I said what's up.
It's going to be slow right now. I think you might see one or two more signings before the draft. I think at this point you're really going to see what you hit in the draft and then fill in the rest of those holes. I know we'd love to bring in another edge rusher, another receiver, but I think the team's going to wait and see who they can get in the draft. And then you go get, like, say you don't get the receiver you wanted, like the guys you wanted fell out from before you. Then you might go get a Keenan Allen or something like that to fill that hole. But I mean, you could see one of those guys picked up as it gets close to the draft, just because they're like, oh, we know we're gonna go edge in the second, and Restrepo is not gonna fall to us in the fourth, so maybe we need somebody just in case. But yeah, this is the slow time. It's gonna be a lot of like pro days and he said, she said kind of stuff going on right now for sure.
Yeah.
I think we're at that point too, right? Where like a lot of those big, we're sifting through the free agency a lot as we're getting to a point where it's going to be a hold up like that on a lot of these moves. Like you said,
a lot of those special teamers start getting signed.
Yeah, and the draft is going to happen, and then we'll see some more dominoes fall after that. But that other big domino in the middle of it's got to fall, which is the draft, and we'll see some more movement. I'm sure after that's kind of going to be slow moving. I think between now and the draft.
Absolutely. And I mean, we're just about right at a month and 3 days away from the draft.
You got a lot of pro days coming up.
A lot of pro days.
Miami's is next week, I believe.
I believe Colorado falls. Well, they're doing a Big 12 pro day.
I thought that was
they're doing
it next week.
I think that is next week.
It's all coming. I think it's probably this weekend, actually.
Is it this weekend or next weekend?
I think it's like this weekend. I'll pull up pro days. Just a second. Colorado pro day. But yeah, they're doing like that's the first time I had ever seen that. But they're making it like
it's almost like an invitational camp.
Yeah.
All the teams are going to be there.
I hadn't heard of anything like that myself.
It looks like it happened today. From the Colorado players, this is 18 hours ago. So I guess
you pull it up if you want to, man.
Yeah, share my screen. I have no clue. Was the other day, I think. Yeah, there's JP talking about it. I think it was like a 3 or 4 day thing. It wasn't just like a 1 day.
No,
like it was almost like a Big 12 combine.
Yeah, they had select teams each day, but it was like a 4-day event.
Is that all they had? Did Shedeur and Travis Hunter not do anything?
I think Colorado was scheduled on the back end of it, I believe.
So Colorado's in-house CU football showcase is scheduled for April 4th. Is that so? It's the second. They did do one last year. Okay. What's the CU football showcase? I've never heard of that either. It's not like that. Dion's doing all kinds of things. They think they're about to have that live spring game against another team too. Shiloh.
Did JP? Did he say the pro day already happened? Is that what he said?
Yeah, he said the Big 12 pro day was the other day. I think.
Okay.
Nice.
It's hard for me to keep up with a lot of those, man. I mean, there's so many of them sometimes, and there's so much going on. You know, I just I was like y'all. I thought it was still coming up myself.
I think it was this week. I think it was like the 18th through the 21st or something.
Okay.
I'm guessing not a lot of news came out of it though, because I mean, I feel like I would have heard of Travis Hunter ran. He said, I think that so he's saying JP's saying the CU football showcase is their pro day. It's gonna be. Is that gonna? So that'll be where like Shador throws and stuff like that.
Okay. Well, that's where. Okay.
I'm guessing
We'll
that's
see. Okay.
that makes sense. Okay. But Miami pro day is coming up, I believe, next week too.
And that seems to be where most of the interest is, though, right? I mean,
it's gonna be those two for sure.
It almost seems consensus that the Titans are taking Cam Ward, man.
Where are we at? The 21st.
I don't understand necessarily where everybody's getting at. I think it's a lot of.
Yeah, it said 18th to the 21st, so I was right on that. But it sounds like maybe Colorado's doing their own thing on the NFL Network.
Okay.
We're on the 21st, so I know Miami is 24th. So I believe that's Monday, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Monday.
Yeah, it is Monday.
Miami. And I don't know, unless something's changed. Last I heard, Cam Ward is throwing at the pro day.
Okay.
So that would be good to have. But since we're on Cam Ward, Todd McShay was on Rich Eisen. I haven't watched this video yet, but the title is The Ringers, Todd McShay. So weird not to see ESPN next to his name anymore. The Titans should draft Cam Ward #1 overall. So we're going to pull that video up and react to that.
It's a change, though. Now, he was the one, he had us taking Abdul Carter, I think, before, right?
Yeah. There's been a lot of love going towards Cam for sure.
We haven't seen trades amongst first rounders or into the first round or out of the first round. We haven't seen one yet. Why do you think?
I think there's a couple things. I think a couple teams in the top 10 at least temporarily solved their quarterback situation for next year.
Right.
It doesn't mean that when you bring in Justin Fields that prevents you from drafting.
Pause real quick. And that changes more even today, right? I'm sure this video came out just before maybe the Jameis Winston news, or if not a day before.
Yeah. It was like yesterday was when it came out.
So that's even more so now. With what he said, just wanted to touch on that real quick. So
the biggest thing is I definitely don't think Jameis Winston stops you from drafting a quarterback for sure.
No, we said that before. Yeah.
No, but I do,
especially a team like the Titans.
You're kind of banking on Justin Fields a little bit more younger, more potential.
And with the Jameis Winston signing, I think that shows that the Titans are probably leaning more towards Cam, and the Giants are going to sit Sanders and let him kind of develop for a year. They have a better veteran option than what we have on our depth chart.
You don't think the Browns might go Sanders?
I don't think so. I think the Browns could possibly go Abdul Carter.
They've
got a lot of money tied up in the quarterback position.
I could see them taking Travis Hunter as well. The Browns, I think, are a sneaky one in there. I think they could go any which way, really.
Could you imagine Myles Garrett and Abdul Carter?
I mean, I think if we take Cam Ward, like everybody seems to think, I think the Browns could realistically take any one of those other three.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, I could see. I mean, they're an interesting team right there at #2 for me.
Yeah, for sure. That's so what I've heard is that they love Cam Ward. So like,
Are you Giants or Browns?
Browns.
Okay.
Ward. So if we were to go Shador, they would jump on Cam Ward, but maybe they don't feel the same about Shador.
Okay.
They do about Cam. I don't know. But
and man, we never know how much smoke and mirrors these guys are giving off between each other, man. You know, I don't know what kind of poker game they're playing. You know,
it's like the GM's get into a room and like, all right, let's tell Adam Schefter everything. You know?
I'll give you another one to think about. Think about Abdul Carter in a Mike Vrabel defense.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Harold Landry out there too.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens for sure. But let's go.
We're back at number 7 if you're the Jets. And that's something I think we should probably start paying a little bit of attention to. Doesn't mean a 35-year-old Geno Smith next season for the Las Vegas Raiders that maybe if they've got a guy that they don't want to draft a quarterback there. But we know there are 2 quarterbacks that are probable to go in the top 3, but not definite. And I think honestly,
it says we are drafting Cam Ward
right now.
Period.
We know their process. They would freak out if you.
I agree, dude.
Today, because they're not done with their process.
Cam Ward, all the way. I acknowledge you, Cam Ward.
I've had the benefit of meeting Philip Stinnett before. He's a big Dan Le Batard guy, so it makes him a big Miami fan. So it's like Miami's like his second team. So,
Dan Le Batard, eh?
Hey, and Stuttgart.
That's a process, whether it's Brian Callahan.
Stugotz is greater than
and
Dan
what he went through with Joe
Levitar.
Burrow, the organization and what they believe in. They want to finish their process. And I think Albert Breer had a great article about,
Hey, quick pause,
what they're going to go through.
Just a fun little story since y'all brought it up, man. I was this close to getting on Dan Levitar one time as a caller, man. I was on the way. Yeah. I actually got to talk. I think it was Greg Cody and Guillermo I talked to on the phone.
Guillermo
And,
is my favorite.
Yeah,
Billy.
Guillermo's sneaky favorite of mine. I haven't watched the show in a few years, but I used to watch it religiously every day. And yeah, I was this close, dude. And they cut to a deadgum break, and I didn't make it on. I stayed on hold, man. I was so close to getting on, man. It was but yeah, just
Guillermo's my favorite.
fun story.
Billy,
Yeah.
man. Billy is so funny, dude.
Yeah, just a fun story there, man. I was so close to getting on Dan Levitar with Stugotz one day, man.
That is really cool.
Leading up to the draft. So once they've made the decision, and if it's not Cam Ward, that's when I expect the phone lines to open up. But as of right now, according to everyone I've talked to, and I think the sources that you talk to, and they're well sourced, that those calls are not being made at this point in time. So I think that's the first domino, and we'll find out probably, I would guess, in the next week or so if Tennessee is interested in moving out or Tennessee's all set and don't.
He thinks a week. I think if a move like this happens, it's going to happen really close to the draft.
Well, I
That's
think
what I
he's
think.
just basing it off of the pro days. I mean, you're going to see both quarterbacks throwing in the next week, and you're going to hear. I think rumors are going to swirl right there.
So the biggest thing that came out with the Cam Ward and the Titans thing is they were thinking about moving down and going Abdul Carter and just building the team. But once they met Cam Ward at the combine and then did his 30 visit and talked to him,
He was just really impressive.
just enamored with him. Yeah, like the way he talked, like the way he could like break down the film and explain why he made it. Like he'd be like, I know this is a poor decision. This is why I did it, but I understand why it was wrong. And
Right.
like even like his negative plays, he was able to really break it down.
That same time period, you had the injury news about Abdul Carter coming out as well. Also,
that definitely probably has a bit of an effect.
They say
as
it's
well.
not serious, but once, like you said, they had a method to what their all their pickups and their ability to concern, because he did miss some games this year too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And even if you're like, oh, it's just a fracture in his foot, you're like, is it going to be an ongoing issue down the road?
Yeah.
You know what
I mean? Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Something we couldn't get from Levis. So Levis, we've talked about it, has all the tools, everything you could want in a quarterback except for what's here.
Yeah. He doesn't have
process fast enough,
the chemical IT, I like to call it on the chart, man. He doesn't have it. Like
one of the biggest things they've talked about all offseason is mental makeup and what is their nervous system. And I think that really came to him from like dealing with Will Levis, is he didn't have the nervous system for, because you see he gets really high strung and like really built up, especially when things start going wrong. One thing I'd say about Cam Ward is like the dude looks comfortable in a pocket. Like he doesn't look bothered by anything as he sits back there in a pocket.
Well, and I don't know, I don't want to put this on because I like Will Levis and stuff, but I was frustrated with the mayonnaise shit.
This is a great question right here, because I've been looking at the mock drafts and seeing this happen. JP wants to know, what's y'all's opinion if Luther Burden falls to the second round? Snag him up immediately.
Yeah, I guess it all depends on who else is left in the second round, right? I mean, we talked about a few guys, right? But
if any of these three fall to the second, him, Egbuka, or James Pierce, if any three of them fall to the second, snag them.
That's what I was saying before we went live, though, right? If we were able to pick up trade for someone like a Romeo Dobbs, I don't think we touched on that actually.
We mentioned
Romeo Dobbs,
but we didn't talk about it.
And if we were able to get like a small trade for something like that, say like a 5th rounder pick or something for Romeo Dobbs, and then someone like an Egbuka is available, our wide receivers are set for the next few years.
Egbuka would be a beast in the slot.
So there's a lot of interesting players that could drop to the second round that
Yeah.
would be interesting. And that also being one there. But yeah.
So
And
yeah,
we also talked
Burden.
about James Pierce as well, if he were someone that.
Yeah. So Burden, Egbuka, James Pierce are my dreams in the second. If one of them were
Yeah,
to fall
absolutely.
far.
Absolutely.
Until we, hey man, until we, John Robinson's not here anymore. Okay, we're gonna draft, develop, and pay our guys now. That's the method. All right, we gotta let go of the AJ Browns. 30 years ago, we drafted Stephen Nair. I see this, dude. That is a big thing that's been coming out. Is the similarities between Cam Ward and Steve McNair, just the way like they.
And every Titans fan should want Cam Ward to be better. As much as I love Steve McNair, I want Cam Ward to go out there and be twice as good.
I think with this, Steve was amazing. I think
sure.
Not saying he got held back a little bit by Jeff Fisher's system. You know, I think because Heimerdinger, or is that right? Heimerdinger, we ran at like a 70% clip. And then so you're talking about he was putting up MVP numbers on 30% of the plays being pass plays, which is crazy. Let's get back to McShay though.
We don't need to get on the phone.
Well, maybe what would influence Tennessee would be a Godfather offer from a team that doesn't get Aaron Rodgers. Maybe his process.
What's a Godfather 31st
is causing a little bit more of a slow motor in New Jersey and Pittsburgh, right?
Yes, but I'll say this: Tennessee, yes, slow motor from the teams that potentially could be trying to move up. I agree with that.
Okay.
Tennessee, you know how it goes. Like if you finish your process of the evaluation and you've spent the time flying to Cam Ward and working him out individually and putting your installs in, and you've brought him into your place and he's met everyone there, and you've spent time on the board with him and watching tape and picking his brain and getting to know how he met.
People, like, this is the thing. People don't understand how in depth these meetings are with these guys. It's not like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. This
is the weird questions I've heard they get asked too.
Rodgers can go sit in a dark room and retire. I know he's probably got to go hit the ayahuasca.
We should pull up there's like a list out there somewhere of like some of the strangest questions that get asked too in some of these meetings. Like they ask some strange stuff.
Do you like green Jello or red Jello?
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
It throws me back to the Jaden Daniels video that's been circulating. What do you do on this play? Throw a touchdown?
I don't know. It's meat between bread.
In 1997, we moved to Tennessee. The new stadium opens in 2027. The stars are aligning us for losing Matt Stafford and Puka in 2030. There's no way Matt Stafford's playing in 6 years, right? No way.
Nah, man. There ain't no way unless he wants to be in a wheelchair.
It's going to be some guy that's in the CFL bagging groceries right now, and then they're going to sign him off the street, and he's going to beat us.
Processes. And when you're done with that, if you think he's the guy, there shouldn't be a compensation package.
We can all do this
you off that
in the stands as he throws touchdowns.
My answer. But if you either decide we're all in on Cam or we're going to go with the best player in this draft, and that's Abdul Carter, the edge rusher from Penn State, and we think we might be able to – we know we could get him at 2, and we think there's a decent chance we could get him at 3, but probably going to be Travis Hunter there. And so we're out of the quarterback market with this first pick in the 25 draft. So I think that's what's happening right now.
What would you counsel Tennessee to do 34 days before the draft, Todd? What would you counsel?
I would take Cam Ward. I think he has the talent to be developed. I think you brought in a coach in Callahan who has worked with Joe Burrow, who can help in the development process. I think when you get these opportunities, you got to take them. I mean, you can't look at that division. Not
I'm
just
scared to not take him.
Division, quarterbacks that are in it, and so you have a chance with a guy who's got some really unique things about his game, from the arm angles to I love his on schedule stuff. When he gets to the top of his drop and is decisive with where he wants to go with the football, he's a flat.
Oh, look at this comment. That Andrew guy is good looking, man. Look at that.
Out assassin. Okay. And so in addition to that, the arm angles and the off schedule things and what he can create, he's got to work, he's got to speed up his mental process. There's no question. Make some decisions that frighten you at times. But we said the same stuff about Patrick Mahomes. We've said the same stuff about Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Said the same stuff about Lamar Jackson.
Sure did, man.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
Said the same stuff about Will Levis.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they were correct. He was Mr. Mayonnaise. I was afraid of that, man, when he became Mr. Mayonnaise guy, man. Like, I was just like, my biggest fear at that point was for him to become a flop, man. You know, it couldn't have worked out worse, man. Like,
Who are you talking about?
oh, Hellman's.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I want to pull this up just because you're talking about Josh Allen and stuff like that. Before we get to the next video, I thought this was really cool little thing. I think we already looked at this, Mike, in the group chat.
Yeah.
But this is a graph of, success rate, turnover, sack rates, just all the things that kind of go into being a good quarterback. This is Shedeur Sanders. It's a decently good graph, actually.
Pretty balanced.
Yeah, really balanced, and like the turnovers are down. It's kind of how you want, Will Levis. This is his junior year, though, when he had his best season under Liam Cohen. This is Will Levis's senior year.
Woo.
Not great. It's really, it kind of stands
Not
out.
great's an understatement. That's bloody
Everything
terrible.
you thought it was explosive plays is really what stands out, and that's what always has stood out for him. He wants to take the deep shot. Almost like a Brett Favre just coming into the league too late, because that's all Brett Favre wanted to be, right? Was that gunslinger mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Ward. That's a beautiful looking graft. There's one more.
He's just missing one piece of pie.
Well, that's a lost turnover, so that's not really something.
Oh, okay. I see. It's hard for me to see. I had to zoom it in enough already.
There we go. Does that go a little bit closer for you?
Yeah, it's a little better.
One more graft. Now, I'm not going to say he is this guy, but Patrick Mahomes.
Woo, man. They're twins.
Yeah, they look oddly similar. It's actually Mahomes' turnovers are a little higher. So, I'm not saying he's Patrick Mahomes. I'm saying Patrick Mahomes wishes he was him.
Different seasons, right? Different seasons, different schools, different opponents.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of but that's interesting. Yeah, I hadn't seen that. That's really interesting.
Well, I like because you see a lot of people cherry pick stats.
Yeah.
Oh, but this graph kind of gives you the full picture. Obviously there's probably a few things not on there, but like takes every little aspect of the game and puts it into a pie chart. Or I'm not even sure what you guess it's a pie chart, whatever it is. Geometry.
That's pretty cool, man. Yeah, that's really interesting, though. That's really interesting. I think a lot of people would find that really interesting to see, and probably a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. This is another video with Rich Eisen with Albert Breer on with him. I haven't watched this one either, so I don't know. But the title is Albert Breer on Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward's fluctuating NFL draft stock. And this was posted not long ago. I made sure I got videos that were. This is 5 days ago. Still not too long ago. And I want to see what he has to say. We're gonna go full screen on it.
Following up for what you were saying about Rodgers' situation with the Giants and the Steelers, how that this is now the second time the Giants have gone for an OG quarterback. Stafford stayed with the Rams. Now, Rodgers is considering going to them or the Steelers. So my question is for you is where do you?
That looks like my sophomore math teacher.
Would the Giants still take one? Is that something that they've told Rodgers would have to ask Joe Shane and Daboll and John Mara if he met with the owner, are you taking a quarterback third overall, right? He'd have to ask that question. How has the quarterback carousel as it's currently spun affected the draft class, do you think, Albert?
Well,
I'll say with the Giants in particular, I know one thing that they had sort of talked to Matthew Stafford about was the idea of the third overall pick being able to help him, and that if they brought him in, then, like, all right, like now we can maybe use the third pick on Travis Hunter, and maybe Travis Hunter can be the third receiver, and you bring Cooper Kupp with you. And now we got Malik Neighbors and Cooper Kupp and Travis Hunter. Those are concepts that I know were at least discussed. The difference, I think, is that you could see Matthew Stafford being your quarterback for the next 3 or 4 years. I don't know if he'd commit to that, but that's at least conceivable. Where with Rodgers, it's probably a little bit less conceivable. And I don't think Aaron would necessarily be against the idea of having a young quarterback on the roster. I mean, I would say this, like, as ugly.
I did hear that Aaron, might have been like right after the season, that Aaron was like really open to like mentoring a young guy now.
Yeah.
Which is not
He's
something
not
you
as
heard from
toxic
him
of a personality as some people try to sell him to be. That's something that the media, I think, taught people to think to be. Seriously. I mean, you can't find if he's a toxic teammate, then why? Like, there's no coach or teammate that's ever come out and really said that about him, not to my knowledge.
I think it was a lot different than when Jordan Love got him in, because he was like, I'm in my prime when we drafted a quarterback for. I don't think he was mean to Jordan Love.
No, I think it became a political thing, and I'm not going to get into that stuff. It became a political thing. There's half of the fans out there that decided he's toxic because of a political thing or something, and I'm not getting into that. I think
it's a lot different now that he's an older player and kind of knows he's on his last leg. Like, hey, I'd love to teach a young guy kind of thing. I think he really was like that with Zach Wilson too, honestly.
Yeah,
it was a little bit different because he couldn't get out there and show him because he didn't have an Achilles tendon.
Right.
I think it was some frustration too because I mean they never drafted a wide receiver in the first round.
And then they wanted to
they were always
do a lot to help.
I think that was that draft right when they traded Devontae Adams too.
When they finally took a wide receiver, I believe so.
No, whenever they took Jordan Love instead, was that the same?
I think it was 1 year.
1 year before, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But still, go get somebody. You can't just depend on one nowadays. Like, it's such a pass prolific offense.
Yeah.
Out there, you need as many weapons as possible. But we'll get back over here.
Ugliest things got at the end in Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love have a very strong relationship. Like, I've talked to Jordan Love multiple times about this, about, how much he loves Aaron Rodgers and how much he feels like he owes to Aaron Rodgers. So I don't think it would have anything to do with like having to look over your shoulder,
right?
Because I think Aaron's only going there for a year or two anyway. I think it would probably be more what I was talking about in the first place, which is, does Aaron want the team to use that asset on somebody who's going to help him right now? Like, I think that'd be more the question. And, we'll see. But I do think like if they signed Aaron, then they'd probably take a quarterback. My guess would be somewhere in the top 100 picks.
And in terms of where the quarterbacks land, right? In the draft, you're hearing Cam Ward is high up as obviously the Titans if they want to go in that direction. There's Abdul Carter sitting there too, Travis Hunter, if that's you want to go for the unicorn there. Then you got the Browns who pick up Kenny Pickett. You got the Giants. And so, you mentioned Ward's name before. So is it a general sense now that I'm hearing, and I'm sure you hear with your ear firmly to the ground, that this is Ward's draft?
Yes.
And Shedeur Sanders could go from anywhere in the top 10 to out of the first round. Like, what are you hearing?
That's definitely how it seems right now. Like, it's become the Cam Ward and everybody else now. It seems like at least the last like 2 weeks, it's become that really strong. Like it's him. So I'm assuming these guys, like all these scouts and everything around the league, are at a consensus about him on a lot of this stuff. They're seeing stuff that they really like, and that's what it boils down to. They're probably seeing all that stuff that we're seeing on that chart in front of them in an interview setting when they ask all these questions and stuff. So they must be seeing what they like across the league, if that's what the conversation is becoming, I'm guessing.
Yeah. I don't see a ball like that from Shedeur. I really don't think he goes past 3 to the Giants.
Did they have a picture of Shedeur Sanders graph like that? I was hoping you might have a picture.
It was the first one.
Oh, did you show me? Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
I can pull it up again though, real quick.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Let me see his again. I must have missed his while I was trying to zoom in on it and
video,
stuff.
and then we'll do that.
Yeah, finish the video and we
About
can look at it again.
this
But yeah,
subject matter.
So I think Cam Ward is like, again, like, and I used this term with you last week, I think, Rich, like, he's the guy you chase ceiling with. He's still inconsistent. He still has some growing to do. But
Absolutely.
he is somebody who has a high ceiling, and somebody who, when you pluck out plays, you can see, okay, he's doing some superhuman stuff. I'd implore anybody who wants to see it. A couple scouts told me this: go to watch the Cal game, the Miami Cal game.
That was a good game.
They
I
told me
remember
you
watching
see
that.
everything there, all the good, all the bad, like it's all there, right? So you're chasing ceiling with him, which if you're Cleveland or Tennessee in the AFC and you're contending with Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow and Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert and CJ Stroud and all these different guys,
Don't throw
you know,
CJ
like
in there.
then maybe you do have to chase ceiling. But at the very least, you know that ceiling's there. I think with Shedeur, it feels to me a little bit more like Bo Nix.
you had a mug on your
You know,
face when you said
I haven't been
that.
able to find very many people,
had a
Rich, that
horrible
think he's
year
a
last
first
year.
rounder.
Hmm.
That doesn't mean nobody does. But I think, you know,
He lost.
I
to
would have
the
said the
Titans.
exact same thing a day before the draft about Bo Nix. Like, where is he going to go? Well, you know, Sean Payton, you know, he may be a fit there, but nowhere else. And then Sean Payton takes him, you know? So for Bo Nix, it wasn't about, you know, proving to the league that I'm this superhuman prospect. It was finding the right fit. And ultimately he found the right fit and had a fantastic rookie year. I think that's the boat that Shedeur's in right now, where there are going to be a lot of teams that are going to look at him as a second or a third round pick based on his physical skill set. And
Pause
for
it
him,
real
it's going to
quick.
be about finding the place.
That seems a little wild to me.
Well, we're almost finished with it anyway. But yeah, so I mean, where y'all think he goes if the draft's tomorrow, based on everything? It looks like the Titans are going.
I'm in agreement with Andrew. I think he goes at 3 to the Giants. Dabo's in a, I guess, win now mode. He's trying to save his job.
Oh yeah.
With Jameis Winston signing as well, I mean, he's going to have to bring in a guy, try to develop and convince the Giants organization to keep him. If he was to fall past the Giants, I would.
I mean, are we convinced that the Raiders are out in any sort of trade or anything for Shedeur Sanders? Or
with Pete Carroll at the helm, I think he's going to be in kind of a win now mode. I would say no. I think it'd be interesting to see Arizona possibly step up. Kyler Murray's contract, it's a lump sum one, and
so there's no chance y'all think like maybe a Browns takes Travis Hunter and then the Giants take an Abdul Carter,
No.
maybe. No, and then
now Brian Burns and Dexter Lawrence in the need at quarterback.
Yeah, because I mean, Jameis Winston. We talked about how, like, especially as the Titans, you could take a Jameis Winston and draft a quarterback.
They got Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Dexter Lawrence. That would be a waste of a pick for someone who needs to improve.
So we're narrowing Shedeur Sanders down to the Browns or the Giants.
If he were to fall, I don't think he falls past 21. I think that'd be the furthest to the Steelers.
And I don't think any team trades back right now out of those two either, really, unless they're offered a gold mine.
I could see the Browns possibly trading back.
Yeah, I mean, the Raiders were an interesting team there for a while. And
hey, buddy, it's a Titans Cup. All right. It's not a Stanley.
Got bobblehead Eddie chilling somewhere. I didn't bring him out today. He didn't join the show.
Right.
He's not
JP says,
sick.
I could see the Jets honestly grabbing him because they only gave Field 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Jets are another team.
It's possible, but this also goes into the thing of, are you trying to improve this year? Are you going to use your first-round pick on a position you already have a starter at?
Yeah.
Because Fields is going to be the starter. Here's the Shedeur Sanders graph. It's actually, it's pretty similar. It's just like Cam Ward's if you condensed it down a little bit, honestly. You know what I mean? Like a less explosive Cam Ward. Like
it don't have that ceiling.
Yeah, that's the floor right there, right? And it's pretty been what I've been saying was what Albert Breer was saying is Shedeur's floor, Cam's floor, Shedeur ceiling, Cam's ceiling. You know?
Yeah.
kind of view. But yeah, it's still. I mean, it still looks better than Will Levis's senior year. But yeah, it looks almost like I said. It's the same shape as Cam and Patrick, just a lot smaller.
Yeah,
So
that's really interesting, though. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't aware of those graphs or anything, but that's really cool to see. But yeah, I think that video's done it. Yeah, so I
Yeah,
think one thing that this really tells us everything so far, ever since free agency and everything, the gates have opened. We've got two of the biggest losers on the Titans team right now. I mean that respectively. I don't know how I did that. I don't know how I just had a parade of balloons fly up.
what is going on? Every dang show you get that going on.
Was it because I did that or something? I don't know. It's something I did. Two of the biggest losers.
Careful what kind of finger signs you throw up.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what I. But anyway, the two biggest losers on the Titans squad so far, and again, I mean that respectively, are Callahan and Levis. Callahan kind of wanted to go with the veteran quarterback at first. Understandably so. It's really hard to win with a rookie, right? And Levis, obviously with his tough season last year, and and looking more and more like quarterback is going to be the focus in the draft. Those are kind of the two biggest losers as current Titans right now, I would say.
Yeah, I agree.
Callahan's definitely in a, I think, prove it year. Now with the new GM.
I got a question for you guys. What's the floor for Callahan? He has to win this many games or he's fired.
I don't necessarily want to put a number of games on there. I think if Cam Ward's the pick, they've got to see progress out of Cam Ward. I think
there has to be obvious progression.
Yeah, I think he can keep his job as long as if Cam Ward's the pick.
Heaton's still in the building.
But as far as wins, losses, I mean, he's coming into a new GM. We know Callahan's not necessarily the guy.
Oh no. Curtis from CPN has joined the building with his ugly sweater.
You got the run in, man. You got a steel chair, do you, man? He's about to come in with a steel chair, whack us over the back, man.
I'm fine with them leaving the Houston part open.
JP says he thinks 7 to 8. So you think he's fired if he doesn't get 7 or 8 wins? And then Philip Stinnett says, "I think you look at progression rather than wins." I think that's true.
That's what I think as well. That's what I was going to say. I think you just have to see some sort of obvious progression, and you need to see a direction that the offense is clearly going in.
But I think that the wins have to factor in a little bit, because I don't think, regardless of progression, if you go and win 3 wins again, you have to.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
A combination of the two. I
don't know.
Philip says,
I think if he gets 2 or 3 wins again, he's.
We have to. Curtis is the reason we're on the CPN. This is Mr. CPN himself.
This is the C in CPN.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
I
kind of agree. I kind of agree with Jonathan Kelly. 7-8 wins seems like it that saves the job.
You think Callahan needs 7 or 8? I think 6 is where I put the floor.
And Vrabel didn't save his job with 6.
Yeah, but he did 2 years of 7.
Well, it was like 8 and then 6.
No, 7 and 9 twice, wasn't it?
No,
last year
we played 17 games, so it was.
He said, "Well,
yeah, I think
he's out with that sweater."
I think it's obvious that you can't have another 3-4 win season. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to put a number on something like that.
Have to put it together. Like, I think if
I have to put a number, you put a gun to my head. 7.
7.
I'll say 7.
I think it's 6.
I'll meet between. That's a little. God, that almost feels low, though. I'm not gonna lie. But
5 low. You said 5.
5 to 6 is what I say. As
Yeah,
long
and
as
the bar is set incredibly low as a Titans fan, baby.
Cam Ward progression. If the Cam Ward is the pick, the progression there has to be there. Like, if it's all defense and no offense, the offense looks stagnant all year again, then he's out regardless.
Mm-hmm.
This offense has to have some progression, which brings in with bringing in weapons.
Last year,
you can't go into this season with Calvin Ridley and Van Jefferson.
Last year, he was a first-year signal caller, first-year head coach. He's supposed to be the quarterback guru. Like I said, I think progression would get him at least one more year.
Mhm.
And he's going to be able to handpick his guy. He was not here to draft Will Levis, so it was just kind of
true.
can you make this work? So I think
Mhm.
this pick is pretty much on his job.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna be. Yeah, he's married to this pick.
Mhm.
So
Well, because I think Borgonzi's gonna be more inclined to kind of go and want to get his guy if it's not gonna progress much this year, right? That's been my problem with the Titans for the last few years is a lot of these forced marriages with the GM and the coach constantly bouncing back and forth, firing one and the other every 2 years.
mhm.
It's been just really kind of madness since the whole AJ Brown situation, man. That's like the catalyst for me, man. Like that, like I hate to like harp on that, but that's just like ever since then. That's just like
It really was like a franchise turning moment.
it
Unfortunately,
was a turning point, man. Everything since that day on the draft that day, man. It was been a mess. Like so.
I think Philip loved that trade. He wanted to trade AJ Brown. So,
uh,
what you got for us, Curtis? How y'all doing over there at the Real Texas Team podcast?
We're cooling it, man. We just did a mock draft on our last episode, but
That's our next step. We're going to finish off our episode with a mock draft.
there you go. There you go.
So
I'm looking at the opponents for the Titans next season.
we got
It's good.
one with the Texans. We always split.
Right.
mhm.
Got the Colts and the Jags, obviously. But
We'll just
we're
say
all,
3 and 3
playing,
there.
we're all playing the AFC West.
Mhm. Yep.
So that's a rough 4 games.
That is a rough 4 games.
We're also
give you-
playing the NFC West.
Also
we
a
got
rough
the Rams,
3 games.
Mhm.
Hawks and but you guys have away Denver, Cleveland, San Francisco, and Vegas.
Cleveland's a possible win.
It just their
We
defense,
can beat Kenny Pickett now.
if you put up more points than their defense can score on you, you're going to beat the Browns. But the Broncos is going to be a challenge. San Francisco, I mean, they got to bounce back, or Kyle Shanahan's on the hot seat.
Yeah, that's wild to
absolutely.
me.
Yeah.
They've had that was a rough year. They didn't do anything to get better yet.
No. But like, I could see a way where like 6 wins, 7 wins is a
I
big.
think 6, if you double your wins, get to 6.
I'm gonna put one more on top for icing, man. Go
We have to
7.
see a progression in the offense. The defense remains as good as it was, and the offense is better. I think 8 wins is the floor. How many games do we
4.
give away because of QB play? I mean, we gave the first 2 away because of QB play easily,
Mhm. Yeah.
and then probably
I think 3 out of 4. I think 3 out of 4 of the first 4 games.
4 out of the first 4, definitely. The
Those
Bears,
were, I think,
Packers
3 of the
game.
4 were winnable games. The
Packers
Packers
was the
game.
turning point.
average
That
quarterback
pick
play,
six.
you're probably at a 500 team.
You also got to think about the Patriots are coming to Nashville with Mike Vrabel.
I hope that's week
Mhm.
1.
That's going to be one that everybody's circling, I imagine.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll be there 100%.
I'll be at that one. I'll be at the Texans game, but I've not missed a
How do
Titans
you
Texans
know?
game in Nashville.
Oh, you're calling Texans when they come here. Yeah, we'll have to get together and maybe do a little content together while we're there.
Absolutely.
Tailgate time.
So far, guys, let me ask you guys some questions. What do you guys think is the biggest move that has been made by the Titans so far?
The offensive line.
Just one move.
Yeah, I'm going to combine those 2 moves on the offensive line because it's been so dreadful for the last couple of years with some of the
Since Taylor
Jalen
Lewan's been
Duncan,
out pretty much.
Jalen Duncans of the world, the Dillards,
On
the
Dillard, Dailies.
NPFs,
Mike's
So
a
I think
big Daily fan.
so I'm gonna take those 2 guys there and combine them as my
I could have put an actual trash can at left tackle and it would have done a better job than Dillard. and Daily.
yeah.
Like an actual trash
Yep.
can. Not
I mean,
them.
Yep.
That are just
As
trash.
far as off-season wise, the biggest move for me is the Borgonzi hire and the
Oh yeah,
reset
yeah.
of the
If you're going,
franchise.
yeah. If you're
Free
going that
agency,
deep.
it's got to be the restructuring of the offensive line. I mean, even moving Latham to the right side, I think that's huge.
Mhm.
I think a sneaky good pickup was the Draymond Jones. I really think he's
Yeah.
a lot better than the 5 sacks or 4 sacks that he had.
Okay.
All right, let me see. We got another comment. When it comes to big picks like this, how much does a head coach in Callahan's position have? Do you think there will be a pushback from management? Maybe no. I think the head coach always has a say. Now, how much does he have as much of a say as Andy Reid? Absolutely not.
No, it's a lot different from Mike Vrabel being here as well. Like,
yeah, how much does he hold? They're asking him what he needs. It's a constant back and forth between the GM and the.
Well, I don't think it's
absolutely
just that. With Callahan being a quarterback guy and you being in the number one spot, I think Callahan is actually having more of a say than most head coaches would.
I think, but I do think
facilitates the players coming in. I think he has the most say so in it.
Well, so the front
office. I think Borgonzi probably still has the final say, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I feel like there's a hierarchy structure that exists in Tennessee that doesn't really exist anywhere. Kind of feels like you have a GM and a co-GM with Chad Brinker.
So, well, it came out that Brinker was more of a yes, he's involved with the scouting and stuff like that, but he's letting Borgonzi make football decisions. He's more like trying to figure out the non-football stuff, like the pricing at the concession stand and stuff like that. That doesn't really that would take your mind off of football. Like, he's just there to let Borgonzi do football.
And if that's the case, man, I love that. That's great, man. I think that's wonderful.
Is just so all-encompassing of every aspect of.
And we also have a big new stadium that's coming soon. You know what I mean?
A lot going on over there. Yeah,
a lot going on. So that could be part of it.
Suspicion that Brian Callahan doesn't make it to see the new stadium.
Well, what if he doesn't get to that?
I don't think
you might be right.
That's not a bad bet. I mean, it's not. It doesn't look great for him. I mean, he's got a chance this year, but I can see why you feel that way.
Philip Sennett is all in on Cam Ward. Biggest move is not announcing we were drafting Cam Ward, but knowing we were drafting Cam Ward.
I'm in on that, man. I'm with him on that. I've been on the Cam Ward train since the end of the season last year. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. It all depends. I think Callahan can be a good coach. I really do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Will Levis did not do him any favors at all.
Yeah.
No, he sure didn't, man. Yeah.
The new
mayonnaise, man.
It's not like that whole team, like at least the offense was really set up very well. I mean, you had D-Hop, who was not playing like old school D-Hop.
No.
Yeah, God bless him though. We didn't help him out too much there.
But to be fair, he really didn't do much when he went to Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes either.
No.
Calvin Ridley, who's a year too younger than DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, the ball though because he got suspended for gambling.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Mason Rudolph, whatever, and Will Levis, but definitely was not helped.
Mason Rudolph might be my least favorite Titan of all time.
Right now, he's starting in Pittsburgh.
Him and Kerry Collins. I hated Kerry Collins too.
Oh, dude, Kerry Collins' old ass looked like he was smoking cigs on the sideline.
Dude, I love it, man. I love Kerry Collins because of that, man. You know, he had a 6-pack of beer sitting there on ice after the game.
Yeah,
man.
That's what
I appreciate Kerry Collins, man. He gave us a little bit of success there, man. You know,
was it him or was it Chris Johnson? Well, he just happened to be the quarterback while Chris Johnson was running around.
That's true.
Mike Munchak smash and dash.
Oh god.
Yeah. Lindell White came up with that. Smash and dash.
Yeah.
The
exotic running.
Those were fun years, actually, man.
It was exotic Smash Mouth.
Exotic Smash Mouth
running game.
That was the stupid.
Yeah.
Dude, I miss Rusty
Smith. and Rusty
Smith. Hey, Rusty Smith actually got the dang ball to Randy Moss in the end zone. It got called back.
The only touchdown Randy Moss scored as a Titan.
The one touchdown Randy Moss caught as a Titan got called back, and it was Rusty freaking Smith that threw it.
We thought after Derek leaving we were screwed, but the run game was the high point on our offense. Let the passing game catch up, along with a good defense, and I think we were right back in it. Well, what's in it?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously isn't super strong.
I mean, you're almost
Wide
always
receivers,
in
I mean, it's like always an issue with us, right? I mean, that's the life as a Titans fan, right? I mean, we
We finally got
always.
one right, and then they were like,
It's
"Oh,
like
Travis."
literally when you talk about our needs, you list wide receiver there, and then you start
It's
listing
Sharpie.
everything else.
Wide receiver has
Yeah.
been Sharpie for like 12 years, 22
Yeah.
years.
Yeah. So we don't even address it because we know it's there. It's like understood. So we talk about all the other stuff. Like,
Yeah.
so.
But we can dig
I mean, I
into
think
that
you
once
need two
we do
more
this mock
guys,
draft.
really. Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about it. I think if we were able to get a guy like Romeo Dobbs, and then this is just fantasy draft here, and then someone like Egbuka drops second round, we're able to scoop that up. I mean, we're looking okay there. But
Curtis would
still,
love Egbuka in the first, I think.
oh man, I just like
yeah.
him,
If they
man.
don't go offensive line, you'd love Egbuka, right?
Well, I mean, we keep signing backups. So, I mean, look, realistically, we had the highest paid offensive line in football last year and got the lowest end of the fucking spectrum when it came to. So, I don't care that we've imploded everything. If we can somehow implode
Yeah.
the offensive line and get average or even slightly below average fucking blocking, that is a massive improvement.
Yeah, it's
Agreed.
definitely y'all need to get some younger guys so y'all can develop and because it's kind of like held together. I feel like with like band-aids and scotch tape right now.
That's
You're,
where we're
uh,
at right now with the offensive
Yeah.
line.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, I got
there's a guy, dude. Y'all should look into Daly.
No.
Put him at left tackle against us at least.
negative.
Daly on the left, Dillard on the right.
The Cardinals have been starting him at guard.
That was probably a smart decision.
I
I
mean,
think
he's
Isaiah Wilson still
better.
has some years left. Also.
Yeah, dude, go get Isaiah Wilson.
Yeah. Bowser shouts out.
GG Bowser, bro.
Dude, I actually prank called
The
him.
AJ Brown thing, and then those 3 years of draft is what really screwed his friend. It's the
Yeah.
Traylon Burks, the Caleb
Caleb
Farley, and
The AJ Brown
Isaiah
debacle
Wilson.
and the drought on the offensive
You can't
line.
miss 3 straight first rounds.
Yeah. It's just
He
that
says,
was a big
"Bro,
deal.
you had Watson and then Stroud. I hate y'all almost as much as the Colts."
Watson and then Stroud. It was not that quick, bro.
No,
There
there was 2 years of David Mills in there.
there for a minute, and I was out here looking, Buddy Mills.
The
Plus,
Colts thing is
Watson-
crazy.
Watson's best.
Peyton Manning plays at the Indianapolis. He hurts his neck. He's out for a season. They get the first round pick again, and Andrew Luck comes out. That has to be the luckiest little quarterback thing ever.
Oh,
Or-
well,
Oh,
Now they have
Jack
Anthony Richardson.
Doyle. Jack Doyle.
the Packers are probably a little
Yeah.
bit more.
Oh, he's looking for
I
Jack
don't have
Doyle.
a ton
Oh,
of
he's
faith
Jack
in
Doyle.
Jordan Love, though. I mean, he's done okay, but
I mean, Aaron Rodgers didn't exactly like blow us out of the water season 1. They were like 5-11.
You know who used to piss me off when they would beat us, man? Is freaking Schaub, man.
that
'Cause
job.
he just looked like the goofiest little thing up there, man. I was like, "Who's this guy whipping our butt, man?" Like that would piss me off, man.
I've been to so many shops.
He said, "Oh wow, 2 years of down bad at QB. We've been down for 15 years."
Hey,
Hey, don't
Look.
disrespect Ryan Tannehill, dude.
we had Deshaun Watson actually play football for like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, Deshaun
He had-
Watson. Yeah, I mean, it was
He
cool
had
for a
more
minute. Yeah,
massages than wins.
yeah, he's. I don't know if you can count Watson. Like, I don't know. You can't compare that to like Luck and Manning, man. And
Schaub,
Stroud, it's still early.
Because Philip has been bald since 15. We got arguing in the chat.
now, no denying y'all been down bad, but like there was,
Tannehill was it until
there was
he's
some
absolutely.
bright spots.
That Bengals game was a turning point for Tannehill for sure because he was looking like
Yeah.
a top 10 quarterback in this 2010. That's 15 years. So it's your fault. Ever since you went bald, we haven't had a quarterback.
That defense deserved to win that game too, man. Oh my gosh, they had something like 8 or 9 sacks that day.
10. I think it was 10. It was 9 or 10.
It was something like that, man. It was close to 10. If it wasn't, it was up
But
there.
honestly, Tannehill was playing like a top 10 QB. in the
Yeah.
league until that game, and then he said he went to therapy and everything for that.
Oh yeah, because
I can imagine.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He was in a dark space. I don't know how he was in a dark space. Have you seen?
But not
his
the same kind of dark space
But,
that
like-
Aaron Rodgers is in. That's a different dark
No.
space. That's just really a dark room or a cave.
Just, some guy in there sweating in a towel, dark as hell. And he's just Aaron Rodgers
Oh man.
in like
Okay.
a low voice, like Aaron, you're gonna win today.
Oh, God. All right, we need to get into this mock draft.
Let's get
We're
it.
an hour
You
in.
sticking
I don't
around for our
even
mock
know.
draft, Curtis?
I'll crash a mock draft. I don't give a
All
fuck.
right. All right, I'm gonna pull it up. I'm doing all 7 rounds, boys.
Oh shit.
Y'all let me know if you want me to zoom in for you boys so we can.
Zoom in just a little.
Yeah, I'm about to. Hold
Yeah, zoom in just a little bit. There we go.
on. We are. Can y'all that better? Can y'all see it?
Fix the view for us.
All right, there we go. All right.
There we go.
I am starting the draft. Do y'all want to trade out of the first pick, or are we going Cam Ward? I think it's
we
got to
go
be Cam Ward. It's got to be Cam Ward.
Travis Hunter.
All right, you can go if you're gonna. Cam Ward. It's got to be the pick.
Is it Cameron? Cameron?
Cameron.
Prometheus.
It's biblical. It's
gonna-
biblical.
The hell was that? Was that Hampton that went to the?
Oh, we're not doing a Texas draft. Don't worry about it.
I'm just like that's mind-boggling.
Okay, so for me here, it's so the guys that we talked about that we'd love to fall to the second, Egbuka, Burden, Pierce.
They were
Though aren't
all
there, I
taken.
would love to trade down at this point,
Yeah, I'm in agreement. Trade down here, try to pick up at least a third.
or maybe another second. So we have 5 teams interested in trading. You have the Jets with 42 and 73. The Dolphins with pick 48 that are interested. How far we want to go back? 7 picks, 13. I'm not looking to go back all the way to 64. So you want to
No.
drop back to 48 or 42? It'd be 7 picks or 13.
What's the offer? Is it just
So it tells you who's interested, and then you can make an offer to them. So if we look at the Dolphins, I'm thinking 48 and 78. We go to the Jets. I like 48, 42 and 73 better, and maybe
Yeah.
give up 35 and 120. Or
Back 9,
103.
up a third.
I wouldn't do mine about those.
I don't think you give up 103. I think you can possibly get a second and a third and give up one of the 5th or 6th.
So do this one and like that one.
No,
120, 141.
No,
no,
I'm thinking
No.
just 141. Or
It's not going to give it to you. It tells you the percentage. But it
Okay.
only has a 30%, 31% chance. If you do 120, it only gives you a 43. But if you say you add 178, it gives you 58%.
Do we have future picks at all?
Oh, I forgot about future picks. We could do that. Like 4th next year
Yeah.
and maybe 141. That gives you a 58%. I'll offer that and see.
Gentlemen?
I'm
Accepted.
In agreement.
Nice.
All right, cool. We'll resume. He said 42. Okay, yeah, let's move into 42 for sure. Okay, we'll resume it. Go back. And then this gives you the chance to get a high-end edge and a high-end receiver.
Hey, forgive me, but zoom in just a little bit more if you can. I'm blind, man. Great.
That's a little
So that's a
better.
little better. Yeah. There we go.
At this point, I like Landon Jackson.
I'm in agreement.
Yeah, I like Landon Jackson a lot too.
At that pick, we can look down a little bit more. I like Princely as well.
Wait, are we on? Okay, this is okay. This is okay.
Available. You could double dip here, boys.
Get them both. Princely, I like both of them. Is there one that sticks out to you? Either of y'all, Princely. I like Landon Jackson personally, but I like both.
Yeah, I like Landon Jackson as well.
How you feel, Mike? You like
That's
that one?
actually what I was going to say
I like
before you
Jackson.
mentioned it.
And then we
Yeah,
got
okay, you can click on it. Okay.
yeah 20. I did.
Oh, it's just okay. I see. Golly.
I'm not
That's
sure
cool,
if he'll no see Restrepo.
Hey,
He went to the coach.
Oh.
I was like, I would love to get Restrepo, and then he gets picked by the dang Texans over there. So at this point, I think you have to go
Cool.
receiver, right? So we can
Yeah.
receivers. I like Royals a lot. I like all three of them.
Tez Johnson is interesting. Yeah, I
He's
think I'm
very
picking
on-
Tez Johnson out of the three of those. Actually,
He's
never
on the
great.
small side though.
He is really small. He's like 5'8".
you know, that matters less and less to me these
Bond.
days. You know
I like
what I'm saying?
Bond too.
Bond,
Bond is good
Now-
too. Yeah, I didn't see him on there. We didn't.
We're picking at 73. We could probably trade back a little bit.
Yeah,
Only
I
one team
mean
interested.
that wouldn't
Cowboys.
hurt. You know, you always get a little more capital in there, a little more draft
Let's see
capital.
what they're talking about.
We-
76 for 70. You're not gonna get much for that, right? I mean,
can
you'll
you-
get a pick up 149
yeah. I mean, that gets you your fourth back that you traded away.
for next year.
Yeah,
No, I'm saying the fourth this year. We traded a fourth.
Yeah. So we
in
can
the
do that. We trade back
before.
3, pick up another pick in the top 150. I'm okay with that. So Philip says Bond for sure.
To be honest, Mason Taylor's not a bad option.
yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm between Tez Johnson and Bond, but I like all four of them really.
Well, so now we're picking at 103. If we're looking at ranks, I mean,
103.
That
this
was
Oh,
is-
we're
that's
at
after this one. After this one, it's
Yeah.
103.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, gotcha.
Um,
I see what you're doing. I got
It
you.
looks like none of those guys would be there at 103 for their ADP. Yeah, I do like Torrey Horton from Colorado State too, but I like Royals
What
Hmm.
middle li-
or
what
Bond.
what middle linebackers are available?
So
Because we know we need a coverage linebacker.
do you though with Cedric Gray? If you think that he can be the guy,
I think you got to bring a guy in.
I
that
think
can
the jury's still out on
Chris
Cedric Gray,
Paul's,
but you gotta give him the
Chris
chance, right?
Paul's
You
son
gotta.
is there. Yeah, I don't think he would.
Yeah,
Wide receiver is a
forget.
way bigger need to me than linebacker because you still have James Williams, you have Otis Reese, and you have Cedric Gray on the team still.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. There's a
I think
like
he can
it's
go
not.
linebacker, but I think he can get a Kaiser probably in the 5th or 6th round from Notre Dame. I like Kaiser.
Yeah, Kaiser would be cool too. I like
Also,
Kaiser.
something to think about. You still have Dante Thornton in the wide receiver room. If you scroll down a bit,
Right there, that's speed right there for sure. But
Yeah.
I think
5.
I like Dante Thornton, but I don't like him as being the only receiver you take. So I still think
I
you
was
get,
just saying. Yeah.
if you've gone quarterback and you've gone, your 3 biggest needs on this team right now are quarterback, edge, receiver. And I think you got to hit all 3 of those with your first 3 picks, honestly. Unless you go get some more help. Like they said, you can't walk out there with Calvin Ridley and Van Jackson.
No.
Only receivers.
We're definitely gonna have to we're gonna have to get one in free agency and one here in one of these picks.
I like both
mean,
of these, and I like Royals. I think
I like all
honestly,
4 of the top 4, but I
I
like
do
the
like
bottom
Bond a
2
lot.
the best.
I think Bond's.
I guess go Bond because that's the one that seems to be the consensus.
Now, I think once you get to 103, you can start playing with linebacker, cornerback, since Wuze's gone, even a safety, because Xavier Woods, his deal is really just a 1-year deal. You can get out of it for no money.
Yeah.
Savion Williams still there. I like, see right there, I like Andrew Mukuba. I like Harold Fannin from Bowling Green. Hold on, I can 6'4", 230.
And he's
Look at that grade. 117 catches last year for 1,500 yards.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
yeah.
I like that. What are you thinking over there?
Oh man.
Is there a position you want to pull up so you can look at them?
To be honest, I mean, just based off of that, I would go Savion Williams probably.
Yeah, okay.
I
Double
was
dip in the
thinking
wide
Double dip in the receivers?
I was
but
thinking
you're getting young.
Jared Wilson from Georgia.
Yeah, we have
I
a
mean,
Yeah,
gotta get
that's what I thought. That's what I thought Mike was gonna say. I like that, and I'm agreeing. I like I like the tight end.
I like the tight end too. Let's see what say he doesn't have much good stats. 60 catches, 611 yards, 6 touchdowns. They just 6'5", 225.
We need a bigger wide receiver. Calvin Ridley's not the biggest.
I'm telling
No, he's
you.
not.
We just lost NWI in the red zone.
We picked up Bond. Bond is only 5'11", so he's not very big either.
But
Dan
he's
Jefferson,
young.
6'2".
But could you go get Thornton later, possibly?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like Thornton's going to be somebody that's probably available around 149, 167 range.
For me, I'm between Makuba and Fannin. Philip thinks Savion Williams too. He thinks we should double dip in receiver.
Yeah.
I'm not against double dipping. I just don't know about 2 picks in a row.
Well, what I don't know much
Makuba's
about
fine
Andrew
with me because I don't know.
Makuba.
What?
I don't think the safety depth is in this draft.
Look at improved every year. Coverage grade, do a coverage safety. That could honestly, if you're worried about not having a coverage linebacker, what's the safety market? That's what we're looking at. Makuba. This is Makuba from Texas. Wide receiver. We'll work aside Ridley and Bond. Yeah.
Well, I didn't see this.
But if you could run a 3 safety set, if you're so worried about having an inside linebacker that couldn't cover it, he could be your coverage linebacker. Kind of like your Elijah Molden when he used to be the lock down the tight ends all the time. That could be him. Let's see what his size is. 6 foot, 190.
I'm just seeing here now. I don't know if y'all saw this today. This was on Yahoo Sports that the Titans actually had a pre-draft meeting with Rutgers cornerback Robert Longerbeam.
That sounds like a made-up name.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't even recognize the name, to be honest, man. I'm not even gonna cap on that, man. As the kids say today.
I'm between Makuba and Fannin.
A 5'10", 175 pounds, man.
He seems like a dependable go-to big receiver. I don't want to. And NWI was a undrafted free agent, dude.
Yeah,
we can get another NWI in the undrafted free agency. I don't think you're trying to get an NWI with your fourth round pick. Phillip's a big NWI guy, so
I think I'm on board for Fannin.
Yeah, I'm in on. I like Fannin as well here.
I'm cool with it. You cool with that, Mike?
Are there any other options that say?
I'd like to shore up that tight end position, man. We got a lot of depth on tight end.
Gunnar Helm here, but I like Fannin a lot. We can look at Gunnar Helm.
Yeah.
I don't love.
Gunnar Helm. I didn't see him there though, man. That wouldn't be bad either. I like watching him this year.
Easy grades, but got locked down.
I don't know. I just like to shore up that tight end a little bit, man. Some of those we've been kind of mediocre there for a little while.
Oh, we don't have a kicker on the roster right now.
Yeah.
We can get that.
All right, let's run Fannin. Let's just see what we got going.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Angle.
Savion went right
Savion
after.
Williams.
Did
He
he go
did.
right
I
after
said,
Makuba went too, man. Dang. All right.
Check out wide receiver.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Horton is still there. What is
Horton's
Horton.
6'3", 185? Not very big, like stocky, but tall. I feel like they weren't very good last year at all. You see that? Dante Thornton, and did he run a 4.3?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Jalen Lane is a speed guy too, I believe.
6'5", 214. They had Ty Felton in for a visit, actually.
Did they?
6'2", 186. That's a big guy.
Take a look at Jalen Lane right above him.
Yeah, I've seen him. But he had 38 catches, 466, 2 touchdowns. He's not very big, 5'10", 196.
It'd be kind of a double dip with Isaiah Bond.
Yeah.
I kind of like Ty Felton. Let me see what Pat Bryant, 54, 10 touchdowns. That's a big dude too, though, right there. Sheesh. 63, 200. Let me look at these by game over here. Yeah, a decent game against Penn State.
You should check out the offensive line.
We do,
got good
yeah.
depth.
You still got Kevin Zeitler, who's older than dirt.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
You're gonna
We
need
could
to
That old dirt's still better than NPF's dirt.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not trying to say it's not, but
Let's see interior offensive line.
That's sad though, man. That's the state that the line has been in. That's
I think these are all guys we might be able to snag with our next
Check
pick.
the-
I'm cool with getting a guard. I don't think they're go exterior off because we do have two
I know
young
some of the
tackles.
guys that play tackle are actually guards.
Yeah.
What's that guy? He plays for the Titans right now, left guard. Skoronski.
Skaronski, yo.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's the world we live in.
Emory Jones is still available.
Yeah, I was looking at that, and so is Williams. Who was I looking
that
at?
Big is
You
this
were looking at
isn't
Jalen
Crenshaw Dixon like huge?
Who? This one?
The Florida tackle up here.
He is 6'7", 320. It's a man.
Ooh,
He's a
Jeebus. Yeah, he big.
little big. He's Maurice Jones-Drew kind of big.
Just thick.
I mean, that's pretty trim for a 6'7" guy, actually.
true.
Let's see. We're getting some value here too. Noel Williams is a good one. We might go corner now that you got rid
Yeah,
of
definitely.
Barrett Carter.
Kaiser right
Jack
here.
Kaiser.
I like Kaiser.
I like Kaiser a lot, man.
Pull the trigger on that.
I,
I
like
think-
the Kaiser or Horton. One of those two would be.
Y'all cool with Kaiser? I like Kaiser.
I like Kaiser. We
Yeah.
can probably get receiver for our next one. Let's go Kaiser. Hit Pat Bryant. Let's see who's available at receiver next.
Horton.
We
just
tore
went.
Horton went.
I think you got to look at Deontay.
Kobe Hudson just went.
Mhm.
Okay.
Deontay.
Hey, what is this drop? He's ranked 78th. He's dropped all the way to 150.
It's Devondre Sweat's brother right there.
He said, "What about Pat Bryant? We pulled him up, didn't we?"
Mhm.
Yeah, 6'3". He's a big dude.
Still have Deontay.
Yeah, I see you go with one of the bigger guys here, don't you?
Yeah, get a bigger body. I think. I think. I felt it might be the guy. 6'2", 186. Had the best season. 96 receptions, 9 touchdowns.
Yeah, it's probably between him and Thornton, wouldn't it?
Thornton's
we're
a
going
little
off-
faster, but it's kind of like, oh, he has like the body and stuff. It kind of makes me think about Doro Green Beckham. Like he has
Yeah.
all the tools.
Kind of.
But
I
it's been
think
Brett.
Green Beckham comes in with a lot more expectations, depending on. Like,
Dude, he's not a big guy, but I love Jimmy Horn.
oh yeah, but wasn't he like a first round draft pick, second round draft pick?
No, he's right there. Will
He's
Shepard.
6'3", 205. He's not.
I love
huge,
me some
but he's
Will
not
Shepard
small.
too. If we had Bond and Ridley, I'd be looking for a T. Higgins size receiver. Pat Bryant fits that bill. That's a tough comparison, but that's the guy I think of. Let's pull Pat Bryant back up.
Isn't he like?
He's like 6'4", 6'5".
So yeah, I mean, Horn's the same size as him.
No, that was Will Shepard that I pulled up.
Oh, was it? Okay, I must have had that confused. I guess. Okay, I'm sorry. I saw the
Yeah,
Colorado
6'3".
logo. Okay, so
Yeah,
yeah, Will
Jimmy's
Shepard.
like
Then so
5'10", I
I
believe.
thought that was weird, man. I thought that was weird, dude. I was like, what the heck?
He doesn't look that big on the screen. Now we could go get a Miami receiver to pair up with him. 6'2".
I don't know, man. I do like a guy like Thornton, though, man. I think he could be a wild card.
Who?
But Pat
Oh,
Bryant, I'm cool with too.
Dante
Really,
Gordon.
yeah, I'm cool with drafting a Pat Bryant though.
I think we could wait on Thornton a little bit until about one.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. I think you probably take a Bryant right here over a Thornton right now.
Also,
If
here's
wide
my
receiver is what
dude,
you're selecting there.
Bashawn Tootin. I'm surprised he'd be still available right now. He ran like a 4.3 in the 42. I mean, Pat Bryant's right in the area for him. About Trevor Etienne.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not a bad pick late right there, man.
Anything you want to look at specific, Mike?
No.
Isaac Tesla. Oh, that's a big dude too. Holy crap.
Yeah.
He's a redshirt
Yeah.
senior.
Been there for a while. He's like 33 years old. Nash, 104 catches, 16 touchdowns. I like this guy. 6'3", 195, 104 catches, 16 touchdowns. That might be the guy.
Yep. San Jose, baby.
What do we think?
Hmm.
That fits the big body build, or do you want to go with a Trevor Etienne?
I like that pick right there, honestly. In the 5th round.
What are you thinking, Mike? He's stressing over here.
I'd probably go ETN.
Etienne?
Yeah, Tony Pollard.
I-
You don't know how many years he has left in him.
All right, we could take a Trevor Etienne.
And I think I pick him over the Virginia Tech fellow there.
But Tootin?
Yeah, I couldn't say that first name. I wasn't going to try and butcher it.
Let's see. If
Niner.
Nick is here, I think that might be the pick. Did he go? He did go. Dang it! To the Eagles too. They take all our receivers.
Who did?
Oh man.
Who went? I'm sorry. Who went?
Nick Nash, that big receiver.
Oh. Nick Nash.
I felt done. Might be where we grab one of these guys. Do you want to take a chance on Dante Thornton here? Speed,
We've got
height.
another pick in 11 picks. Take a look at Devin Burke, cornerback.
Was he on the front page?
I believe so.
Denzel Burke.
Denzel Burke, my bad.
2 interceptions. Gave up a 95.4. How's his size? I look at the size. 6'1", 193 is a good size for a corner. I mean, I'm cool with that too. You want to go corner?
Yeah, me too. Especially with recent news.
I mean, let's go through our draft again. So we've got the 3 needs off top right here.
Mhm.
Then we got a tight end and a linebacker and a running back. So I'm thinking
We went heavy offense right now.
Yeah.
we got 2 defense though.
Without going literal.
So I think in these next 3, I think we need a corner.
Let's scroll up to the top real quick.
I think we need a safety, and I think we need another receiver.
Hey, scroll back up real quick. Okay.
Brandon Jackson, Bond, Fannin, Kaiser, Etienne. Would y'all agree? A safety, a corner, and another receiver in these picks?
I'm still
Yeah.
with Curtis there, though. We've got to address some depth at the offensive line.
That's true. Well, let's see. McLaughlin's there still. He could probably play guard too.
Yeah. I mean, is there
I
Logan
mean,
Brown. Let's see.
when is Thornton supposed to be? Like, when's his average draft position?
I think it's around 170 or 180.
what defensive ends are out there?
186. So we should still be there when we
Yeah, we got 178.
like
and
like
188.
edge positions.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind picking up a second edge.
Johnny Walker.
I mean, if you did take another pick on defense,
fighter?
Sure, dude.
I think if you take another pick on defense, it's got to be edge, right?
Well, I think you need one or the other of a cornerback or safety.
Yeah.
An offensive lineman and a receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you probably go if you're let's take a look at the offensive line, see what's available.
I think McLaughlin.
Yeah, that's a good one.
What about
Fairchild. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Nah, McLaughlin's the best one.
Click on
Yeah, he's the best available, clearly. But
6'4", 304. Yeah, dude. How many sacks? He only gave no sacks, no hits, and 7 hurries all year.
yeah, that's pretty good, man.
Back in his
Ohio State, man.
He can play guard too.
You want to pick up a guy like that?
He's only played center in college.
Yeah.
If you scroll down.
Mm.
It's What we can do?
Emory Jones wouldn't be a bad one to take a chance on.
Fairchild only gave up
Emory
one sack.
Jones and
For the draft position, Emory Jones would be.
what about a guy like Jake Majors?
He's a big guy.
Oh, I mean,
I don't like those stats though. Jesus. LSU's
I don't
LSU
know,
did
man.
not have a good offensive line, dude.
Did
Their
we,
running
wait,
back
did we
getting smacked in the backfield.
did we
But, I
already
mean, you
take
also
another
gotta
tackle? We
think-
haven't taken a tackle yet, have we? I just tried to scroll up on my own.
He's playing 9 games versus the SEC though.
So is he. Look at those stats. I think I like Fairchild more. But it looks like we can get him a little later.
Yeah.
too.
So if Fairchild's the move, then you could probably get your edge or corner / safety, and then Thornton.
Let me look and see what we got going on for
Then
corner and safety right now.
Fucking
There's
Fairchild.
Burke. Well, Longer being not a great run defense grade. He had 2 picks for 2 pick sixes. Jesus. I think a return man or
Titans had a virtual meeting with him apparently. So
Robert Longerbeam.
mhm.
So yeah, you did say that, didn't you?
Yeah,
Well, there's that. They like their 2 lane guys. He didn't have a good.
I don't know. You want to? We could be.
That's an
We could be
all-time
little
name.
sheep and just go with the Yahoo Mail news. They picked Longer Beam, I guess.
Dude, that's an
But how
all-time
many
name.
more? How far down is he?
He's right there at the top. How many
Oh,
jerseys
okay.
do you sell just based on that name alone?
I know, right?
Give me Longerbeam, boys.
That
So let's see.
sounds like a
He
super
needed a
snack.
heavy offensive draft. Is true. I'd say offensive line, safety, and cornerback. So you don't think we need another receiver? Crazy with those stats that he's not drafted higher. I'm cool with Longerbeam, honestly.
Yeah, that's cool. Let's go with it,
Cool.
man. I mean, I go with the news of the day. They're meeting with him for a reason. They must like him, you know.
All right. So an offensive side. Let's see.
All right.
I'm
So
going
we got
receiver
2
here.
left here.
We got to agree on a receiver here. Do you want to go Thornton at this point? Or do we go with a guy who's a little more proven, but doesn't
I like
have
either one of those guys, Felton or Thornton.
Felton's
I mean, I
guy
like
who
Thornton.
did
I like Thornton because, I mean, obviously being, you know, from UT, a lot of people will enjoy that and stuff. I'm gonna, you know. Yeah, I know.
He played
But
UConn, bro.
What matters to you more, Mike? Potential or someone who's already done it? Because you look at a guy had 26 receptions, 6 touchdowns, or a guy who had 96, but Thornton is bigger and faster.
We can't go off of potential.
I mean, that's
need
what you're
wide
hoping.
But
Yeah, I
at
don't
the
think the
6th
Titans
round
can
is
afford
kind
it.
of where you take those shots. Is when like
Yeah.
Unless
I
you're
mean-
the Colts, you take that in the 4th or the 1st round, 4th pick.
I'm okay with either one. I'm going to let y'all discuss it and pick because I'm okay. I mean, out of the 3 that you select, out of the 4 top ones, I like Felton and Thornton.
I'm down to those 2 too. Yeah, I'm cool on that. I like Felton, and I'm okay with taking a shot on Thornton if that's the idea.
So, Mike, it's on you, dude.
I'd say go with Felton.
I'm just too.
That's cool with me.
All right, Felton, the 6'2" guy, big guy, can a little different than Ridley and Bond. We got one more pick, boys.
And hopefully we can get Fairchild.
Oh yeah, that's right. Let's go check out was the interior offensive line, right? And there he is. Is that the pick?
Hey, how about that?
It's the last
I'm cool
pick
with it.
for us.
All right. I like it. I think we did a good job. Should I offer us a first round pick real quick for pick 200?
We start running out of names you recognize when you get to that 6th and 7th round.
Philip said, great name, draft Longerbeam. In there, jerseys are going to sell like crazy just based on that jersey alone, that name alone,
The memes, bro.
memes alone. Longerbeam with the pick.
That pick by Longerbeam.
I swear to you, I've seen Houston draft like 5 linemen.
That's all you're worried about. You're just in here to watch your Texans draft without you.
I was weighing in.
We're going to be an A- D+ for the Isaiah Bond pick, which I
That
don't.
was way too early.
I don't agree with that. They haven't been number 109.
He was out here saying he's about to break the combine 40 record.
Yeah, but okay, just because he didn't run that fast doesn't mean he's a
Ooh, they don't
bad.
like Fairchild.
Steve Phillips said Thornton. Bannon got a good grade. Kaiser got a good grade. ETN, that's because they didn't had him ranked off the board. We reached for him technically,
Yeah.
but like, there's no such thing as a reach in the 6th and 7th round. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I thought that was a steal. Ty Felton at one.
Well, gentlemen, I'm gonna hop off here. Y'all
Appreciate
enjoy
it, man.
the live stream. Thanks
Hey,
for
it's good to talk to you, man.
Thanks for coming
Appreciate
in,
you
dude.
jumping in, man.
of course.
Thank you, Curtis.
Y'all have a good
Thanks for the run in, man. Bring some beer like Stone Cold next time.
Hell yeah.
Another bear.
Oh, hell
Another bear.
What?
What?
I gotta put you guys back on. Hold on.
And another beer.
There we go. All right. Yeah, I think that was a solid. If the draft went that way, I wouldn't be upset at all.
No, definitely need a lot of help on the offense. Need a lot of help on both sides, but
Need depth and
there's a couple of positions. Yeah, there's a couple of positions on both sides. We're going to need help from both the draft and free agency before time comes to suit up and play. So
Dolphin will be another Burks. You can't be another Burks when you're picked in the 6th round.
I don't think anybody can be another Burks.
We've been running crazy, so I think we need to go
There's
ahead and get to our final bites.
There's another Titans podcast that's popular out that I love. I love what they say about Traylon Burks, and I agree with it, man. I'm gonna steal it from him right now. Shout out Tyler Rowland, Locked On Titans, man. Traylon Burks is like non-existent to me, man. I realize he's there and stuff, but he's just invisible, and I mean that with all due respect, man.
He's no longer Beam, that's for sure.
Whenever A.J. Brown has more Super Bowl appearances than he has receiving touchdowns, I don't want to talk about it no more.
Not great.
That's sad, man. That hurts my feelings. Man. It hurts yours too. I saw that.
All right, let's get to our final bite.
All right, I'm going to kick it off. I got a fun one, man. So nobody take it super serious. But Titans are a poo-poo team the last few years. Okay, we've been in the gutter, all right.
One way to put it.
But the last thing I want to hear is a Falcons fan or a Vikings fan or even a Lions fan, some of these teams that have been better than us in the last couple of years. Jaguars fans, Texans fans, okay?
Sorry,
Even I'm going to shout out the ones in our division too, okay? I don't want to hear none of y'all talking crap about the Titans, okay? So unless you've been there, I'll take a lot of lip from a lot of teams, okay? Patriots fans, Steelers fans, even San Francisco 49ers fans. It's been a while, but hey, they were there for a while. I'll take some lip from some of those guys, but I don't want to hear nothing.
If you ain't got one of these, you can't say nothing.
Yeah, I don't want to hear nothing from no Browns fan or Bengals fan. Okay. So, but hey, it's all in good fun. I'm just playing around, but yeah.
What you got for us, Mike?
Final bite. A little bit of old news, but Titans legend Eddie George taking the head coaching position at Bowling Green State. It's good to hear. I know he started out at TSU, had some success. They made a playoff run last year, but looks like he's going to take it down a little bit north.
Yeah, we didn't have the bobblehead today.
I know he's sick. That's what I said earlier. He's sick, man. He's not feeling well today, man. Yeah, Bobblehead Eddie will be back next week, man. He's taking some rest and recovery, R&R.
All right, for my final bite, I want to bring up Ryan Tannehill, dude, getting a call from the Vikings about possibly coming in and backing up J.J. McCarthy. Congratulations, dude. As mad as the last couple seasons were with him, he really was our best quarterback since Steve McNair. So
yeah, man.
Shout out to the guy. We had a lot of good time.
He made a lot of those. He was the reason that we were able to have a little bit of success there. He's one of the reasons. Some of his play and being able to kind of give us some consistency and security at quarterback helped a lot.
I was honest. He took a year off, which is probably good for him. He probably needed that, spend some time with the family. I was honestly surprised once Tua went down that the Dolphins called him rather than Snoop.
Yeah.
Bluntly.
And a lot of people are tough on him about that Bengals game, man. But, you know,
It is what it is.
I respect and appreciate Tannehill's time here, man. So I wish him nothing but the best and everything.
Yeah, for sure.
All-time passing leaders for single seasons. He's up there in the ranks in the Titans record books.
Absolutely, man. Shout out 17, man. We see you 1-7.
Well, on that note, thanks for joining us again. We did the longest episode we've ever done. We're over an hour and a
Yeah,
half.
man. Breaking records over here, dude. Breaking records with the Javon
Curtis, man, didn't expect him to show up. But yeah, go check out Curtis's podcast network, CPN. They got a lot of stuff going on over there. I do an AFC South show with all the other fans over there too. But like, subscribe. Thanks for joining us. And on that note, check please. This was on Curtis for Curtis Pod.
Yeah, man.
For sure.
Dining and dashing, man. We sending you the bill.
Yeah, put it on his tab. Tighten up.
Tighten up.